In this video, I will tell you guys the top 5 meta decks in order, and then I'm gonna give you guys some bonus decks as well that I think are sleepers that can get up there right now. This is the top 5 meta decks of the format. Let's get into the video. Before we do, make sure to check out trifgaming.com for the best Martial Mountain Cupsy deck boxes and playmat you've ever seen. If you want to learn more about Yummy, check out my Yummy Master Classes. Let's get into this video. The very first deck of the format is borderline tier 0. It's Yummy Mitsurugi. This is not even close. It's truly not even close. Yummy Mitsurugi is the best deck by far. By far. Why? Because it does everything Yummy does and everything Mitsurugi does, and they bridge together. Yummy Mitsurugi Nouvelle specifically, because what people don't get and they're just turned off because it's a 60 card deck, all the Nouvelle / Diviner / Preparation of Rites cards literally lead to full Yummy and full Mitsu combo. Like, it's just more versions of them. If they might, Diviner might as well be called Yummy Mitsurugi of the Herald. Like, it might as well just be called that. Nouvelles might as well, Poisonnaire de Nouvelles might as well just be called Yummy Mitsurugi de Nouvelles. Like, it just might as well be part of the same engine. But a Preparation of Rites might as well just be called Yummy Mitsurugi of Rites. Like, you just might as well, because they are literally, quite literally the same deck. But because it's at 60 cards, people are turned off by it. You don't need to play it at 60. You can play the deck at 50-ish if you want, or even 45-ish. I just like having a plethora of non-engine and plethora of plays, so I could do that. And you know what? It's like the record of it shows for itself that it's a very good deck. So I'm just going to go ahead and put Yummy Mitsurugi as a whole as number 1. I'm not going to put Yummy Mitsurugi Nouvelle or Yummy Mitsurugi as different versions. It's fucking Yummy Mitsurugi. But the Nouvelle cards are just the best starters for it. So I would highly recommend putting that there. But the very first deck is Yummy Mitsurugi. Truly, it's not close. And if you're scared of those FTKs, there's so much doom and gloom going around about too many FTKs. Yu-Gi-Oh players will complain about everything, regardless of what's done. We could ban every floodgate. Players will still complain there's too many negates. We could remove the negates. People will still complain there's too many negates. We could remove the hand traps. People will complain there's no hand trap. Like, they will complain regardless. There's no saving Yu-Gi-Oh players complaining. This will happen no matter what. So instead of complaining, guys, just play the best deck, and you will be the one you will be complaining about because you're playing the best deck, which is Yummy. So Yummy Mitsurugi is the best deck, period. Second best deck, in my opinion, it's not gonna be Crystron. It's not a deck that plays Mjolnir. It is Branded Dracotail. Branded Dracotail solves what Dracotail Shittail was shit for so long, because it ends on 2 traps, Arthalion, Gulamel, 5 mana in hand. That's a grand total of 4 fucking interruptions. I could beat it, like, with nothing. With, like, I could have 2 cards in my hand, beat all the interrupts, and I could win with the other 4. That's the most doo-doo end board I ever heard in my life. But by simply including branded cards in there, whether you start with branded fusion, or if you just end on seal, have seal bring out Albaz bring out more interrupts. Now we're talking about a real big ass board that does like 10 interruptions if you really want, especially with 3 traps. Now Branded Dracotail has a actual, like, fearing, like, a deck that you should kind of fear a little bit, that puts up a plethora of interruption that I still believe the best way to deal with is a plethora of board breakers. But the problem with board breakers is it gets checked by the FTK. So that's a pretty cool thing by having 1 or 2 floodgates going around, meaning people cannot play floodgates. Sorry, people cannot play breakers because of the floodgates. I do hope all floodgates get banned, but if they don't, it's not a big deal, simply because, like, breakers will get checked. Because if everyone plays breakers, everyone will have a trouble going second. Everyone will want to, like, go blind first or whatever. So the format is literally incredible how it is, guys. Don't listen to doom and gloom. Just play and you'll see it's actually incredibly fun. Don't listen just because people are complaining about it. In my opinion, the third best deck is still pure Yummy. The reason being is that the hand trap choice that you do counters Dracotail and counters Mitsurugi. A lot of people have trouble playing pure Yummy because they feel that Murakumo destroys the deck. Later in this explanation, I will tell you a way how to counter that, as I have many of my Discord members. If you're playing pure Yummy, how to destroy pure Mitsurugi, or just in general Murakumo. So the best way for pure Yummy to destroy Dracotail and to destroy Mitsurugi is you have to play a plethora of hand traps that do not allow them to play. Hand traps, like, let's say you're facing Dracotail. You have Ash, you have Bell, you have Purge. You could play Droplet if you want. These are 12 ways that other traps do fuck all. You have 12 cards in your deck that serve as obliteration of Dracotail. People say Dracotail has a good matchup versus Yummy, but if you simply just don't allow them to do that, as well as side deck, in my pure Yummy deck, I'm side decking 6 ways to deep. 3 trap trick, 3 D barrier. And because you have so many hand traps, you have the capability to play traps going first. So how could your with thrust as well? So how could your opponent hand trap you as Yummy, but every Dracotail deck is playing hand trap? You could just go thrust into D barrier and obliterate them. Same with Mitsurugi. If you're having trouble, the trouble of Yummy is when they go first against Dracotail and against Mitsurugi. But if you have 10 ways to dimensional barrier against all these decks, that's 3 thrust, Pot of Prosperity, Trap Tricks, and D barrier, you obliterate them when you go first, like truly obliterate. For multiple turns, you'll have multiple debuffs. So if you have trouble with Murakumo or fusion decks, you just flip up those and obliterate while having a plethora of starters to be set up for next turn, even if they were to hand trap you into oblivion. So you're always set up for absurd follow-up if you build a deck correct. And then the inverse of that would be like, how could you play that many cards in your side deck? You're main decking 20 hand traps, you're side decking 6 more. You always have such a plethora of hand traps that you're good, especially when the hand traps you're playing are cards like Bell, Ash, side frames, that also stop the Mitsurugi. The one thing I'll do in Pure Yummy as well is make sure to end with Masquerena. Ending on Masquerena makes your end board versus Murakumo also much better because it cannot be destroyed by effects. And when you SP the Murakumo, you slap the deck into oblivion, even if you don't have the deep. All Yummy decks need to have Masquerena moving forward because the deck, a lot of decks could push a lot more now. Having that checks it a lot. So it's Pure Yummy. Sorry, it's Yummy Mitsurugi, preferably with Nouvelle. It's Branded Draco Tail, Pure Yummy. Then the fourth deck is Pure Mitsurugi. Pure Mitsurugi is still very good because of Murakumo. Murakumo has checked the entire format and has it in a headlock. It's still a very respectable deck. But if you're going to play Yummy or Mitsurugi, you might as well just play Yummy Mitsurugi. It does what both decks do, but together at the same time. It's like you could play against 2 different duelists at the same time. You're playing 2 decks in one that do the exact same shit because they bridge into each other. It's almost a fucking no-brainer. Play Yummy Mitsurugi if you're deciding to play each of them, just for now, for the format, while you can. The 5th deck that I'm going to put here, I thought about a few decks to put here, and I'm gonna go ahead and put this just because of how could be versus hand trap. FTK decks typically are not the best choice to take for an event because everyone all the decks I mentioned above have the capability of playing 20 non-engine if they want. Every deck I just mentioned could play 20 hand trap if the format deems it necessary. They could all play 20 hand trap. So if they all play 20 hand trap and hand trap of FTK deck, you're not FTKing them if you're gonna hit with 20 hand trap. So, but because currently in the format, all these decks I mentioned are not playing like like I'm playing Board Breakers for Yummy. Mitsurugi decks are kind of playing like Ash Bell, Ua, and then like Breakers until they start to all play hand traps. The 5th deck I'm putting here is Crystron, Mjolnir, K9, because until people all play hand traps, that deck will be very good versus them because of Noroi. But when people start to play 20 hand traps, I'm putting Crystron to literally unplayable because if people are playing Mjolnir decks and you're getting hit with hand trap galore, Crystron is not as good as it seems into hand traps because they got hit with inclusion to 1. The deck already bricks his mana up on its own. And yes, they have Platinum Gadget and Noroi, but when you're hand trapping them into Oblivion, it's not as easy as it seems for them to bridge into there. Those are, in my opinion, the top 5 decks, but they're subject to change over the next few weeks, depending on how the format shapes. But the more FTKs are going around and more hand traps going around, it affects all 5 of them. When more FTKs get shown, you simply just add more hand traps to your deck. You remove all the breakers from Yummy Mitsu, play hand traps. But for right now, breakers are simply way better than hand trap because they check the whole format. Every deck I mentioned there dies to breakers with the exception of Crystron, Mjolnir, and bullshit. But when that deck gets more popular, you just play more hand trap and you check it into oblivion. The next 3 decks I'm going to mention that need respect and are really powerful is any Soulful Cord variant, whether it's Soulful Cord K9 or Soulful Cord Yummy or Soulful Cord Yummy K9. These decks are absurdly powerful, very powerful, very. That spell card is a literal custom card. I believe that has the potential to be tier 1. Another deck that I think should be somewhat checked is Lunalight. Lunalight I think is dog shit. However, if everyone starts to forget about Lunalight, Lunalight will come back and good again. But while, like, if people are aware Lunalight is a deck, you could just insert a few cards in your deck and make Lunalight fucking ass and unplayable. But if people forget about Lunalight, it'll get checked up. That's why I'm saying it could be a sleeper pick. Just how it was a sleeper pick for World, but no more because people are now respecting the deck. If people ever forget about the deck, put it back up a little higher in the tier list. And there's a few other decks that I'm actually keeping secret right now. There's one deck I'm keeping secret that I might take to YCS Pittsburgh. I can't tell you guys because I might just take it. Those are some decks. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Of course, there's a lot of good decks in general that could be sleeper picks, such as the Ryzeal deck that beat me in top 8. It's literally, the board's crazy, so it could very much be so, but keep in mind that it's way more susceptible to hand traps than before because Ryzeal cards are hit dramatically. You have to use cards like Tachyon and Small World and Autumn Para, cards that are like neg-1s to get to the engine. So it's way more susceptible to cards like Side from Delta and Ash Blossom in general, and Droll and Fua. And I do believe Droll and Fua will be way more popularized now because of the FTKs. So Ryzeal, I believe, was a great meta call for that event. Probably not anymore because of those style of decks. And there'll always be good decks that will catch you off guard, like strong combo deck. Let me know what decks you guys want to see moving forward down in the comments. This is my non-biased list, is what I think, and it'll continue to be so until the format changes. Thanks for watching the video. Check out trifgaming.com down below, and the Yummy Masterclass to learn more. Yummy Mitsu Masterclass is also down below. I'm going to play it all format. Thank you guys for watching the video. Peace.